This Pete Hegseth situation is the most dangerous thing you can do in hiring. Okay, I need all of my corporate leaders to know it's not DEI or diversity that kills meritocracy. It's your favoritism. It's your nepotism. It's your perceived loyalty over leadership. It only took 2 months for these anti-DEI talking points to fall completely apart.
This is good, family, and welcome on another episode today. How are you all doing? And if you're joining for the very first time, thank you all for being here today, and thank you all for your constant support. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has been trending for like 2 days now because of a very silly mistake that he made. The whole world, the people of the United States, are now on his neck. And even the president, Donald Trump, said he does not know anything about it. He had mistakenly sent a sensitive text into a group where he had added a reporter. And if you are wondering what is in those texts, you guys, it is their war plan. It is their war plan, what they are going to do and how they are going to inflict pain on some countries. And a lot of people are saying this is literally incompetence. This is what you guys get when you scrape out DEI. The conversation has been very, very long because this is going to go down in his own history as one of the worst mistakes that he can ever make in his life, because yes, they are on his neck, and trust the people of his party to be looking for one way or the other to defend them. Some people are saying it is not a mistake, that they know exactly what they are doing. Do you think they know exactly what they are doing, or it is really a mistake? Without wasting much time, let's just get straight into the conversation.
You know, Republicans have warned us for 10 years what would happen if we hired people based on their skin color and their gender instead of their merit. And I am terrified to say that they were right, because this right here is 4-star General Lloyd Austin. He was not hired due to his gender or skin color. He was hired on merit. And as the Secretary of Defense for Joe Biden's entire tenure as president, General Austin never once texted top secret military plans to a journalist 2 hours before an attack. And this is Admiral Lisa Franchetti. She served the United States Navy for 40 years. Just like General Austin, she never once in those 40 years accidentally texted top secret military plans to a journalist 2 hours before an attack. And this is General C.Q. Brown, also hired and promoted on merit. He served the United States Air Force for 41 years, including 3,000 flight hours and 130 hours in combat. And you'll never believe it, but in those 41 years of service, he never once accidentally texted top secret military plans to a journalist 2 hours before an attack. And this is Pete Hegseth, selected by Donald Trump to replace General Austin as Secretary of Defense for reasons we can both see and understand. And you wouldn't believe it, but within 8 weeks of his confirmation, he accidentally texted top secret military plans about an attack to a journalist 2 hours before the attack.
Barack Obama's tan suit, Hillary Clinton's emails, two things that had nothing to do with national security breach and or fireable offenses from someone at the highest level of office. Do you guys remember that? That became their platform to take down Obama and Clinton. But the Republicans are spiraling today, defending a massive breach of protocol, national security, and just flat out stupidness.
This is what the leftist media is reduced to. They can't argue with the policies which the American people support. Now we're griping about who's on a text message and who's not. I mean, come on.
More feigned, phony outrage. This is now the scandal of the week that you will see nonstop, 24/7, that nobody will care about. It's not only a smear, but it's waged by the left. That's all.
Takeaway for me is it's an insight, a transparent insight into the thought process and dialogue of our national leaders. If you read the content of these messages, I think you'll come away proud that these are the leaders making these decisions in America.
Did you ever try to start a group text? You're adding people and you accidentally add the wrong person. All of a sudden your Aunt Mary knows all your raunchy plans for the bachelor party. Well, that kind of happened today with the Trump administration.
I'm not going to characterize what happened. Clearly, I think the administration has acknowledged it was a mistake, and they'll tighten up and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
What's going on? Y'all are going to jail! Period!
If Kamala Harris or Barack Obama were in office or anywhere in proximity to the White House or power, and anyone in that administration had given a civilian access to a conversation between the defense secretary and the vice president, all hell would have broken loose. Fox News would have been running that story from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, and there would have been no excuses made for anything to happen, and their head would have been off with their head. craziest part about being an American is being consistently gaslit by your country, but especially by the Mayo Patrol. They are crazy over there in Magaland. Pete Hegseth came on TV today and said out his mouth, there was no conversation. 12 hours after we saw the screenshots from the conversation, and no one is challenging him on that side. You have to laugh, or this country will make you feel like you're going insane. Because what are we talking about?
Come on now, he drinking. The man is drinking. This is the type of stuff that had Congress worried about Pete Hegseth. Even the crazy people in the Republican Party who were not keen on voting for him. The man is clearly drinking, all right? Let's just be real. There's no other reason why he would be adding people to a text thread, a highly sensitive text thread about war plans, if he ain't drinking. Also, the only way a story like this truly gets leaked is if it comes from somewhere very high up in the Oval Office. I've been saying this for months now, and it started when we first got the muskrat on camera talking in front of the American people. There's somebody in there that is trying to disrupt whatever's going on. There's somebody in there that's been on this ride, okay, and they thought it was going to go in one direction, but quickly realized that it is not going in that direction. And whatever they're doing to get this information out, look, it is getting to the right places at the right time. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Name one time the former Secretary of Defense, any of the former Secretary of Defenses, had a text chain with sensitive war plans added to it. Colin Powell, you know that guy whose entire profile has been erased from the military archives. You think he would let this happen under his watch? By the end of this 4 years, the Trump administration and the Republican Party are going to learn the absolute hard way how much this country needs DEI initiatives. Because so far, every major incident that has taken place since they rolled all that stuff back has only made things drastically worse. You got DEI out of the Department of Transit and got rid of it when it came to the air traffic controllers, planes falling out the sky. You're getting DEI out of the federal government, right? You don't want any of those policies in the federal government. 200,000 people get laid off. You get rid of DEI in the military, and the person running the show is damn near sending nuclear codes in the Snapchat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is incredibly dangerous and embarrassing for our country, but at the end of the day, so hilarious. The Trump administration is proving just how mediocre and incompetent conservative white America really is. And by the end of this, nobody is going to want to see them in charge of anything ever again.
This Pete Hegseth situation is the most dangerous thing you can do in hiring. Okay, I need all of my corporate leaders to know it's not DEI or diversity that kills meritocracy. It's your favoritism. It's your nepotism. It's your perceived loyalty over leadership. It only took 2 months for these anti-DEI talking points to fall completely apart. Trump sat up there and told all of corporate America that the problem with your business is diversity, while hiring the most incompetent, underqualified team cabinet members that we have ever seen, and preached to you about meritocracy. If meritocracy was truly their standard, your national security wouldn't have been put at risk by a group chat. And you sat up there and cut DEI programs for what? This situation has told us what we already knew, which is merit is subjective and can be weaponized by the people at the top whenever they want to. A lot of organizations will claim that they hire based off of merit and competency and skills, but if your process prioritizes likability, personal loyalty, or familiarity, then you are at risk at hiring underqualified people, just like Pete Hegseth, a media personality that was hired for a complex defense role. There needs to be way more accountability in hiring decisions at all levels. Are you actually hiring based off of skill and track record? Or are you hiring based on people that make you feel comfortable, that share your ideology, and are aligned with your personal worldview? This is your reminder to hold decision makers accountable.
I served in combat in both Iraq and Afghanistan as an infantry marine with 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines. But Pete Hegseth J.D. Vance and Tulsi Gabbard show that just because somebody served in the military does not mean they deserve your respect whatsoever. And there are so many veterans that think that because they served this country, because they enlisted or they commissioned, that they deserve, that their voice should be heard more, that their vote counts more, that whatever they say has more weight. But J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, these people who have served their country, who use their veteran status to think that they're better than other people, are demonstrating that just because somebody serves in the military does not mean they deserve your respect. It does not mean that they are better than you, or that their voice carries more weight, or that they are more intelligent, or that they love their country more. Just because somebody served their country does not mean they deserve respect. And J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, and Tulsi Gabbard prove that.
They lied in front of Congress yesterday. Tulsi Gabbard and John Ratcliffe, both of them got up there and say no classified information was discussed in that signal chat that drunk ass made. Pete was in that chat going off that Hennessy. That boy say, we about to drop 2 of them things right now. In 5 more minutes, we about to drop 2 more. I'm going to keep y'all updated on what happened after that. And then The Atlantic posted an article today exposing the text messages and what was discussed in them text messages.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
So you mean to tell me the director of national intelligence and the director of the CIA are lying to people? Who would have thunk it? Can you imagine if this was any other administration besides Trump's? Right? I don't think they did one legal thing yet. Like, everything has been illegal. Every single thing. Every single thing they've done since January 19th. They are literally breaking the law with no consequences. It's the American dream, ain't it?
Have you been following the headline? Have you been following the conversation? Because they said that diversity was the problem. And the moment they scraped that out, guess what? Everything have been falling. Things fall apart. Literally, these people, things have been falling apart for them, even though have been acting like it's the people that are acting weird. But they have been the one literally acting weird. Things have been falling apart. This is what the people who want to take away TikTok because of security reasons are doing. Imagine putting the life of innocent people in danger just because you decide to hire someone who is incompetent. Now the whole world can see the country as a bully that it is. They can see their plans. They can see everything, how they want to inflict pain. How do you send something that sensitive, something that crucial into the group that you had at the reporter, knowing fully well that there's going to be an attack in 2 hours? In literally 2 hours, and they're still going to come back to say to people's faces that diversity is the problem. Like, at this point, I feel like America is like a show, because every single day you wake up, it's from one thing to another. Something keeps happening, and it's never something good. It is never something good. Now they are trying, they're on a mission to tell people that was like, there was no group chat, there was no leaked chats, there was nothing, like that was a like forced or a framed up something, like literally making up excuses and trying to defend themselves when people have already seen all of these things. It is literally all over the internet. How do you release something that's sensitive 2 hours before an attack? I think I kind of agree with one of the stages that said maybe he is drinking. Maybe he is really drinking for real, because how do you even do that? How do you do that? How do you make very sensitive mistake? How do you make very childish mistake like that? This person said war plans, and the president knows nothing about it. That was literally what he said when he was addressing the situation. He said he knows nothing about it. So this is the reason why it's even becoming a shit show. Imagine the president, the number one, and the country literally saying that he knows nothing about a war plan. It's not like a plan to go out and go have a party. A war plan. That there is a possibility of so many people losing their life. He said he knows nothing about the plan. This other person said they don't want to acknowledge it or how detrimental it was, because it opens the public up to how these people get off on inflicting horrifying violence. And I think that is the case. They don't want people to know them for who they really are. Like, they don't really want people to know that, yes, this is what they've been doing behind closed doors. Another person said, truth be told, I believe Pete know about that Black Hawk crash that happened on day one of the DI security of defense job. But nothing will happen because who is going to check them? Another person said, it is not hard to comprehend. Such classified information and the sloppiness of this administration is a very bad thing. Like, there's no way to it. The sloppiness said. This one said, he don't know nothing his administration is doing. This is dangerous to the American people. He's just letting them do anything, including stirring wars. He's unqualified for the job. Literally every single time, he knows nothing about it. And this is the reason why they are about to have a protest, which we are going to cover in the next episode, because yes, it's been all over my FYP as well before the Pete Hegseth conversation took over the media, because this is like the biggest scandal of this week. How do you release such information into the public? How do you mistakenly release such plan into a group chat? Like a group chat. On the other side, people are getting to see the same administration that have been, promising, who are saying this is the best administration, are getting to see it right in their faces. And, maybe they can come online later to tell us how the administration is the best administration. Let me hear what you guys think about this headline. If you have been following the conversation, do you think it wasn't a mistake? Because there are so many comments that I have seen of people saying that it is not a mistake. They know what they are doing. Like, even people are bringing back the events of some of the plane crashes that had happened. Like, they said they know exactly what is going on. It is not a mistake. But then again, on the other hand, they are online literally telling people that there is no leak chat when it is all over the media. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. I am going to catch you guys in the next one.